Welcome to today's class. In today's class, you'll be introduced to the second module of this course, where you are introduced to data cleaning and preparation. So in this course, in general, as I introduced to you in our last class, that you get introduced to the use of using both Microsoft Excel and Google Spreadsheet to clean and analyze a data set to make it in a way where you'll be able to make informed decision at the end. Good. Okay, so what are the importance of data cleaning and preparation for data analytics? Data cleaning and preparation ensures that you have accurate results at the end of the day, because without you having a clean data set and you're trying to make informed decision, definitely you will give the wrong answer to whatever you are trying to give. Take, for example, you were asked for the total sum of a student, whereby some students enter their name multiple number of times. Definitely you will give the wrong answer when they ask for such kind of question, that how many students do we have in this class? Take, for example, I send you a survey now, and you all started filling the survey, and you fill the survey, whereby some people fill the survey multiple number of times without me cleaning that particular survey data. Definitely, I won't be able to give the right answer to the question of how many number of students do we have in this class. So with data cleaning, we are able to make informed decisions which are accurate and consistent with the analyzed data. Data cleaning also helps reduce error and improve decision making. As I mentioned, in the aspect of you using survey to get the number of students in a class, by analyzing and cleaning that particular survey data, definitely that will reduce the number of error. Take, for example, by removing the duplicate numbers of students inserted can reduce error and make informed decision with that. And also, it enhances data visualization and reporting. When the data set is clean, to make a presentation out of it will be very, very easy. Take, for example, a particular student filling a survey and then adding spaces in his name. Let me just use a guy as an example. Maybe the guy's name is, let me use my first name as example. The guy's name is Olushola, but as the guys enter his name, he now put Olushola, then now add space. Now leaves like multiple number of spaces before now adding the surname. And now maybe along the way, maybe in another time, maybe in the next class, the guy was now asked to type the name again. And now this time around, the guy now type Olushola with the right surname. You see that the two values are not consistent again. They are not consistent. Without you cleaning the data, you will not be able to make informed decision based on what the guy inserted in the survey. So by cleaning data set helps you enhances data visualization and also for reporting. Because take, for example, the guy that inserted Olushola space the surname, and the guy that typed Olushola space the surname. If we try to visualize that particular data, you see that the first one and the second one will now be having their own value. Like it will not be as if the student inserted the name two times. It will not be as if they are two different people, whereby they are just one. Okay, so cleaning data also saves time by avoiding manual correction later. Good. The aspect of Olushola, take, for example, the analyst that is working on that particular survey. Assuming the analyst has cleaned the data by removing all the spaces, all the extra spaces, that would avoid any error or inconsistency in the data set. So it will avoid any manual correction later. Because if you try and present that kind of data without data cleaning, you will see the error big on screen. You see the error, and it doesn't make sense you presenting to large crowd or to multiple number of people and then showing them your errors. That's not good. But by data cleaning, you're able to avoid any data correction, any error, or any anomalies in your data set. So the common type of data issues that we have in data analytics is missing values. There are a number of times that people will create a table, put number of things there, and that particular table will contain many missing values. That is one of the data issues we have in data analytics. Another one is duplicate value. Take, for example, the guy that replied to a survey multiple number of times than what was asked for. That is like a duplicate to the data analyst. So if one is not careful, that can also lead to giving wrong results. Incorrect formatting. This is another aspect of it. You remember that in our last class that I illustrated one particular way. Take, for example, while I was representing age, that I now change the data type of that age from number to text. So you see that the way that particular thing was represented is not consistent with how a number should be represented, which can bring about misunderstanding And also take, for example, you are trying to format a date, and now the date is now in different format, like the thing is not consistent all through the table. So that can also bring about misconception while working in data analysis. So it is very, very important to always clean our data set and make it free from any issues. We have various cleaning techniques that we can work with while doing a data analytics work. So take, for example, a particular data that needs to be sorted, but it's now scanty, like it's now scanty. Like you have 1 year, you have 20 after, you have 30 after, then you have 2 after, which is very wrong. So a way of cleaning that particular data is by sorting it and making it to flow ascendingly. Is either you make it to be ascending order or you make it to be in descending order. So that is a way of sorting data. Another way of cleaning techniques is using filters. Filters, it enables you to show a particular value one at a time. Take, for example, I collect a survey from TAU students. Now, I want to see one particular data for a particular student among you. Now, how can I get that student? How can I get to that student immediately without me stressing myself by just looking randomly for every student? So what I can easily do is by just going to the student name and then filter on the student name for the name that I'm looking for. With that, I'll be able to get the specific information that I'm looking for in the TAU data set. Now, in Excel, how can we use filter? So we can use filter by navigating to the data ribbon, and then locating the filter tab in the data ribbon. So let me quickly demonstrate all I mentioned here for you in our practice data. This is one of the data set that was collected and shared with a data analyst. This is a data set collected in Afghanistan, in Albania, Europe, and so on and so forth. And with that, we're able to calculate the GDP per capita, the population, the life expectancy, the year, and so on. Now, we want to demonstrate all what we just mentioned here. Take, for example, on how we can filter. If you remember clearly, you remember that I introduced you to using the shortcuts to create a filter in our last class. So how can you make a filter appear at the top of the heading here? As you can see, at the top of the heading here, how can you make a filter icon to appear? So no matter where you are in your table, no matter where you are in the data set, once you are in any particular place in your data set and you hold Ctrl-Shift-L on your keyboard, Ctrl-Shift-L, you see that the filter icon appears immediately. The filter icon appears immediately. As you can see, you can either filter on country, continent, year, and so on and so forth. But for our case now, what we want is just the Afghanistan. Let me use Australia as example. As you can see, what we have here, we have Afghanistan, we have Albania, we have some other, like many countries that I have not even been to. We have them here. So how can I get the Australia directly without scrolling through various countries before getting the information in Australia? So with the concept of using filter, we can get there. So let me just go to the country. Once you are at the heading, navigate to the filter icon. That filter icon, click on it. Once you are on it, you will see all the selected countries that are displayed in your data set. So if you want to unselect everything, you can unselect it by just clicking on this select all. Uncheck it, then locate where Algeria is. As you can see, this is Algeria. This is Algeria. We have Algeria here. But take, for example, maybe Algeria, you can't find Algeria anywhere, maybe due to smaller size of the screen, or you can't just find it. You can easily search it directly by using this search. I can just say Algeria. As you can see, as I search for Algeria, Algeria gets shown alone. Then I can just click on Algeria here and I say, okay. Now you see that everything that gets displayed here is only for the country, Algeria. Now we have limited the scope of our data set to be only showing Algeria. As you can see, this is telling us that Algeria is an African country. The year that this data set was collected, this was for the year 1950, 1957, and so on and so forth. For their life expectancy, the population, the GDP per capita also. So that is how you use filter to limit the scope of your data set to be able to show a specific information Take, for example, now that I have the Algeria, I want to have both Algeria and Australia. I can still click on this icon, this filter icon again, and then show only Algeria and Australia. Let me quickly search for Australia also. Australia. So now I have Australia as well. So I will click on Australia as well. Then, okay. Now you see that Australia also gets added to the scope of what I have. So we have Australia, as you can see, we have Austria, we have Australia, Austria and Australia. They both get added automatically because of using this filter icon. If you remember the other time I searched for Austria, and that's why those two get added automatically. As soon as I search for them, they all get checked automatically since I already searched for them. So that's why we have Austria as well as Australia. So now we are able to limit the scope of our data set to just be showing Australia, Austria, and Algeria. Let's go ahead. Now, take for example, we already see what we are looking for, and we already have the information we are looking for. Now, we are not interested in using this filter again. How can we clear the filter so that we have our entire data set back without going through the stress of unchecking and checking again? So a way of doing that is just by clicking on the column you filter. If you click on the column filter, you see that you have all. If you click on all, everything will be selected. But an easy way of doing that is just clicking clear filter from country. If you click on clear filter from country, the filter will be clear. Then you will have the entire data set back the way you expect it to be. Now, how do we undo duplicate in the data set, especially unwanted characters? How do we undo them? One of the ways we can undo duplicate is by removing them entirely from the data set. Because if we have a duplicate in our data set, definitely the result of the analysis will be wrong because we are calculating one thing a multiple number of times, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. So that's why it is very, very important to always remove duplicates in your data set before you continue your analysis. So now let's quickly navigate to Excel. How do we delete all duplicates that we have in this data set? So what I can just do, since I'm within the scope of my data set, I can just click on Control A. As you can see, Control A will help me to select all the data set in my table. It will select everything. You see that the blank ones are not selected by default. So Control A help me to select everything, and I see that everything is selected. Then how can I remove the duplicate values? I can easily do this by navigating to the data ribbon. So as soon as I navigate to the data ribbon, then I can easily spot this remove duplicate on the data tools group. Can you see? We have remove duplicate. So the moment I click on this remove duplicate, you will see that Excel prompted me that, okay, which column do I want to remove the duplicate from? But what I want to remove is that I want to remove any duplicate in all the data sets. I want to make sure that everything is selected, because if I remove the duplicate on country alone, you'll be left with few country, while we are losing some data in another continent. But I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. So we have to make sure that we select all the entire columns, then remove the duplicates, and then say okay. And see the thing that got prompted. It tells me that 955 duplicate values found and removed. As you can see, out of like thousands of data sets. So always expect duplicate to be in your data set. It is very, very important that you expect that duplicate is unavoidable. So always make sure that you remove duplicate whenever you want to analyze data sets. You see that now that we remove the duplicate, 955 values have been removed from our data set, and we are now left with 1,704 unique values. Then I say, okay. Now I can continue analyzing data and then have the result I'm looking for. Okay, so now going to the concept of trim and clean functions. This can help you to clean a cell. Take, for example, I mentioned one particular example the other time whereby the student entered Shola space, then the surname in a survey. And then another one also entered the name and then space, which is the right format. Now, to avoid all those extra spaces, so the use of trim is very, very important. Take, for example, you notice extra spaces in your data set or in any column. You can just use this trim function to trim the cell, and you have the text that you are looking for. Same as you using clean. With the use of clean, you are able to remove all the non-printable characters from that particular cell. Now, let's quickly demonstrate the use of trim and clean. Take, for example, let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm saying here. So as you can see, we have various names that are on this A column. We have various names. Now you see that for this Elizabeth, Elizabeth has like space at the front and also space after it, while Oni also have space, like multiple number of spaces in between, which is not good. So how can we clean it? We can easily clean it by just using the trim function. If you click here and you start with equal sign, then you type trim, then you press tab to auto complete everything for you. So you see, now what trim is asking for is a test that it is going to clean and then give you the result that you are looking for. Now you see, I say enter. Now as you can see, the trim must be applied on Elizabeth. Now Elizabeth no longer has any spaces at the front. Now we have good Elizabeth value. Now if I want to copy the formula downward, I can just double click on this gear icon, then everything will be freed automatically. Everything will be freed automatically. And you see that we have what we are expecting. We have what we are expecting to have here. You see, take for example this one. It was entered in multiple line. Ezekiel Adebayo. Now, with the use of trim, we'll be able to remove that character, that new line character. And now the thing now can patch together. It is now showing Ezekiel, which is matched to Adebayo. So how can we undo that? You can easily undo it by just going to the front and then adding space there. If I say enter now, you see that Ezekiel Adebayo is now separated with space. So we were able to remove it by using trim. Take for example, maybe there are some unseen character that you would like to like remove from your data set. You can easily do it also by using clean function. So take for example, I can combine the use of trim and clean together with trim. So let me just say clean. Let me put clean inside trim. So I now say clean, put tab, then close the function, and clean it. Then now drag it down by double clicking on the jar icon. You see that everything is now in good order, and we have it the way we are expecting it to be. The test is now clean. It is free from any anomalies. This is one of my favorite topic, which I believe that it will catch your interest. So this is test to colon and flash fill. Test to colon. There are ways. Take for example, you will definitely come across many issues on you splitting tables. Maybe there are some attributes that are joined together in one particular column, and you would like to separate them. So that is what we'll be doing in this topic. Let me use this as example. Test of column 1. Good. Now, quickly see this. We have product key. The product key contains product ID, it contains product category, it contains city, and it also contains the product size. But the product ID is what join the 4 attributes together. Now, we would like to split them based on the delimiters they have. As you can see, we have the product ID here. But now the product key contains product ID, product category, city, and size. Now, how can we split it so that we have what we are looking for? So that now brings us to the concept of we using the test of colon. So how can we get that done? The moment you are on this particular value, so what you just need to do is just highlight the column that you want to split based on particular delimiter. Then go to this particular icon, which is this tab, test of colon, under the data tools bar. So click on test of colon. The moment you click on this test of colon, it will bring up a menu box, which is asking you that does the thing you are trying to split as a delimiter, which is yes, we have a delimiter, and the delimiter is that dash dash dash. So now we want to split it. You can just click on next. Now this is now asking us to select the delimiter we are trying to split with, and we will see that the delimiter we are trying to split it with is this dash. It is not tab. So now we can just type it manually by ourselves by saying order. Click on order. Then you now say dash, which is this dash. Now you see the sample of what gets illustrated to you under the data preview. You see that everything gets separated. Immediately we type that dash, get separated. Now we can just say next. Now this next thing is now asking us that where should we place the outcome of what we are splitting? Where should we place it? So now we can navigate to where we want to place it by just navigating to this second column, B2. And you will see that by default, the value is cached as an absolute reference. So let me just say enter. Then the moment I say finish, is that everything gets splitted automatically. We have the product ID, we have the product category, we have the city, and we have the size. And now we have everything in their separate order. Okay, we achieve it by going to the data tools, navigating to test to colon. After we have highlighted this particular data, after we highlighted them, then we just navigate to this test to colon, then we click on it, and then we follow the process, and the thing gets splitted for us. So now it is not able to quickly show you how you can achieve this in Google Spreadsheet, because we have to treat Google Spreadsheet along as we are also working in Excel. So let me quickly switch to my Google Spreadsheet. Now, how can I open Google Spreadsheet? You can open it by just going to the Google Apps. If you click on this 9 dot icons, if you click on it, you'll be able to see all your Google Apps. Now, you can just scroll down, and then by scrolling down, you will see Google Sheet. You will see Google Sheet. As you can see, we have Sheet here. The moment you click on this sheet, Google Sheet will be opened for you, and you'll be able to do all the things you see. Now, the home page for Google Sheet is where we are. As I told you in our last class that I will show you the template that we have for Google Spreadsheet. Now, as you can see, the moment you click on this template gallery, you'll be able to see all the templates that you can use in Google Spreadsheet. As you can see, we have monthly budget and so on and so forth, schedule, team roster, pros and cons, and the likes. So now, what we want to do right now is to create a blank worksheet. So just click on blank worksheet, then a sheet will be created for you, which is the workbook. So immediately, let me quickly change the name of the workbook. I can change the name of the workbook by clicking inside this box. I click on it, and then I give it a name. Let me just call it test to colon class. Now with that, I already set the name of that workbook to test to colon. As you can see, the interface of Google Spreadsheet, you see, it's quite different from the interface of Microsoft Excel. You see that the way Google Spreadsheet organizes its ribbon is based on menu. You see that the file, they are in menu. It's as if we are working based on menu. You see, the edit is also based on menu. View ribbon is also based on menu. The insert also is based on menu, and everything in Google Spreadsheet is based on menu. As you are working, take for example, you want to insert something. Once you are on the insert menu, you can insert anything you like to insert into Google Spreadsheet. So now let me quickly copy the table that I have here. This table, let me quickly copy it, and then copy it into my Google Spreadsheet. As you can see that I can copy something from Excel into Google Spreadsheet, and Google Spreadsheet will still retain the format that I copy, and the way it is in Excel is still exactly the same way it is in Google Spreadsheet. Now, let me quickly copy the headings also. So let me paste it here, Control V. Now I have the headings as well. Now, what I want to do right away is get the product key, and the product ID, product category, city, product size. Everything that I have here, I want to get it to be on a separate column. The way we get the thing done in Excel is quite different from the way we get it done in Google Spreadsheet, but it's still straightforward. How can you get it done? You can get it done by just highlighting it the way you highlighted it in Excel. As soon as you highlight it, just navigate to where your data is. Can you see? The moment you click on data, just go downward, you will see split text to colon. As you can see, split text to colon. That is the exact equivalent of text to colon in Excel in Google Spreadsheet. So let me click on split text to colon. Can you see? split test to colon. This is asking that should it be automatic or I want to specify the delimiter by myself. So I don't want it to be automatic. I want to specify the delimiter myself. So my delimiter is dash. But from the list that I have here, I don't have dash here. So I will just use a custom value. So which is dash. So I will now say dash. As you can see, the moment I type dash here, the value gets splitted automatically without even bothering about what I type or anything. It was automated, and that is not what I want to do. I want to split this particular value to be on their own separate column. So in Google Spreadsheet, if you still want to retain the old value, if you still want to retain it, the best way to get it done is by copying the column, copy it, and then paste it to where you want to start splitting it. So I will copy it and then I will paste it here, Ctrl V. Now, what I'll be using now is this particular column. This is what I will use to split it. So if I want to select a column from this part to the last line, I will just hold Ctrl Shift on my keyboard and then press the down arrow. With that, they all will be selected. Everything will be selected. That's the shortcut for selecting from the beginning to the end. Ctrl Shift down arrow. Now, the moment I have it selected, I can now navigate back to my data ribbon. Then click on split test to colon. As you can see, it is still asking me for the text automatically, or I specified the separator myself, which I will do by just clicking on the separator, and then I say dash. Okay. The moment I press OK, even before I press itself, everything will get populated for me. Now I have everything in order that I expect it to be. As you can see, it is almost as easy as you working in Excel. But one of the benefits of working on Google Spreadsheet is that even while you are on your phone, you can still navigate to this particular worksheet without you copying and pasting from your phone to your laptop or anywhere. Since you have your spreadsheet open on your Google account, then you can easily navigate it directly from your phone or any device that you are logged in. Now, let me quickly give you another example on how to use this test of column. This time around, what we will be doing is still using that test of column, but you see that this is quite different from what we worked initially. As you can see, this is like people reporting abuse. Maybe in one particular school, student is reporting about one particular student abusing her and something like that. Now, these are the reports that we have for various incidents. Now, what we want to do is that we want to split the various abuse that we have in our table. We want to now split them to be on separate column. As you can see, we have abuse 1, abuse 2, abuse 3, and so on like that. Let's now split this abuse column to multiple column. So let me quickly select. I will select everything by using the shortcut I taught you the other time. Once you are on the column you want to start from, just hold Ctrl Shift down arrow. Everything will be selected. Then navigate to your data ribbon. Once you're on data ribbon, then click on test to column. As you can see, test to column. Now, I still have the delimiter. I have the delimiter because everything is separated by comma. Those that are multiple, those where we have the abuse will be multiple, which is domestic abuse, rape, defilement, and so on and so forth. You see that comma is what is separating them. Now let's specify the delimiter here. Switch to delimiter, then say next. Our delimiter now is comma, and now this is here. We have comma here, so I will just click on comma. And as you can see from the previewed data, you will see what will happen after you are done with the data splitting. So let me just click on next. Now this is where we are clicking on the place we want our result to be positioned. So I will click on this L2, then I say OK. Now say finish. The moment I click on finish, everything will be populated. Then we will have everything the way we are expecting to have it. Now, let me quickly copy this also to Google Spreadsheet and then do exactly the same thing as what I did now on Google Spreadsheet. So this is test to column 1, test to column. This is the first part of it. Now, how can I create another sheet on Google Spreadsheet? I can easily do that by clicking on this plus icon below the screen. Can you see? Add sheet. If I click on it, then new column, new sheet will be created for me. I can easily rename this also by double clicking on the name and then typing test to call 2. So that's the name I want to give it. And let me quickly paste it here. So now I paste the value I copied from Excel into this spreadsheet. Now let me copy the heading as well so that I can show the abuse into different column. As you can see, I have everything here. Now, can anybody get this thing done for me? Can you do this? Can you split everything, what we did in Excel on Google Spreadsheet? Can you do it? Okay, please quickly direct me on how I can split this kind of abuse into multiple number of column. So quickly guide me on that. Okay, I should highlight everything. Now I highlight everything. So I should go to data. What did you say? Good. I should click on split text to column. But before that, you forget one particular thing, that I should copy this thing. I should copy it first, copy it, and then paste it to the next column. I should paste it to the next column because the moment I try to split text to column from here, it will also beat this one too in place, which is what we are trying to avoid. So we want to split a copied one to fill across to the other columns. Now you continue your guidance. Let me click on split text to column. Now it's asking me that separator detect automatically. So what should I click? Okay, so I will just click on this detect automatically. I will click on it so that I will be able to have other options. Then from here, I will just click on custom and then specify the separator that I'm looking for. And even before I click on custom service, that comma is also part of the options. So I will just click on comma. Now you see that everything now gets splitted according to the way we expected it to be. Now we have the exact values that we are looking for. You see that the abuse that we have now has now splitted to their various column. You remember that we used the text to column to split our product key the other time. But this time around, I want to introduce you to the concept of we using autofill to extract out an observation from a cell. Take, for example, the way we have product key here, and you know that our product key contains a lot of things, such as product ID, product category, city, and the product size. But now we can use the concept of autofill to extract out what we are looking for. Now, how can I extract out the product ID from the product key? So I can just give Google Spreadsheet a sample of what I'm trying to extract out. So I'm just say 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 4, 6, 2. With this one that given to Google Spreadsheet, if I like, I can give it another sample so that I can use that pattern and then use autofill concept to fill everything for me. You understand? Now let me give it another sample. 1, 9, 1, 7, 6, 7, 6, and 8. Now the moment I give it two sample, then I can just like use that to fill downward. As you can see, it will automatically be filled because Google Spreadsheet is smart enough to recognize that we have pattern in our data set. Now, you can also use that same concept and apply it for product category as well. And our product category is AA. Let me delete them. So now what I want to do now is to use that concept that I was trying to do in Google Spreadsheet. Let me quickly use it in Excel before I switch back to Google Spreadsheet as well. Okay, so now let me quickly give example on that. So 1, 3, 3, 4, 6, 4, 6, 2, and 1, 9, 1. As you can see in Excel, the moment I type the first two parts, I have a set of things getting filled. So I can just, the moment I press Control Enter, if I say Enter, so I can just highlight it. So highlight everything here in Excel. The moment I highlight everything, you can go to the Home ribbon and then go to Fill. If you're able to locate the editing part here, you click on Fill. Then from there, you can click on Flash Fill. Can you see? Flash Fill. You see that everything gets filled the way we are expecting it to be. The same way for the product key. So AA, AC, and just highlight the rest. Then you use flash fill again to fill everything, flash fill. For the city, we have POS, we have NYC, you say enter, then you fill everything as well by using the flash fill. For product size, you type it small, medium, and say enter. The moment I click on enter, you see that everything pop up immediately. I click on enter because Excel has already suggested the other result for me. Then I click on enter and I have what I'm looking for. So that is the process of doing the flash fill in Excel.